Hi, Miss Washington. Can you really introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Tonya Washington, Assistant Athletic Director for Student Athlete Enhancement and Leadership at NC State.
Uh, okay. How many years have you been in this profession?
This profession or at NC State?
At this profession?
24, 25 years.
How many years at NC State?
20.
How do you like NC State?
I like NC State, otherwise, I wouldn't have been here 20 years.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Can you explain the responsibilities like within your job?
Mm-hmm. I am responsible for personal development, leadership development, career development, and community engagement for our student athletes, our 550 student athletes, all teams.
So with personal development and career development, is that once like sports is like over or during their time
Well,
here?
while you're here, for example, the program you went to last night is personal development as we talk about diversity and inclusion. We talk about leadership development while you're here because we hope that after you gain the skills here, you can take it on after you graduate. So that's the goal.
Yes, ma'am. So what school did you attend for your undergrad?
University of South Carolina for undergrad and graduate school.
Okay. So what was your major?
Psychology, undergraduate, and got my master's in public administration.
Okay. What different majors would you recommend to people that might eventually want to go into this same profession as you?
It's all kinds of majors, but a lot of it is higher education, maybe student personnel, counseling services, sports management.
Yes, ma'am. What made you want to go into this profession?
Well, I started out in student affairs at a university, and I liked athletics, so I thought it'd be a natural transition for me to work with student affairs and with student athletes. So that's how I ended up here.
Did you play any sports while you were in college?
No, I did not.
Okay. When you were looking for this job, was it truly about what you knew, or, like they say, about who you knew?
Or this funny story how I got this job. I worked at UNC Wilmington before
Yes,
I came here. I saw an article on the guy who worked here before I did in the newspaper. He was like Tar Heel of the Week. And I said, wow, that looks like an interesting job. I'd love to have work there. So I wrote him a letter, just a cold call letter, and he called me, which never happens. I was so lucky. He called me and said, I don't have a job now, but I'm trying to create one, and if you're still interested, I'll call you. So it took probably 6 months. I worked at a nonprofit there, and I took a pay cut. He called me, and I took a pay cut from my nonprofit job to come here to work because that's how important it was to me. So
Yes, ma'am.
that's how that worked.
Okay. So you didn't work at any other institutes before here?
Yes, I did. I worked at UNC Wilmington. I worked at South Carolina State.
Okay.
I worked at a nonprofit.
How big of a difference was it between the HBCU and here?
Major difference. Smaller school, less money. No, less money in the budget. I'm working with a different population of students, and so they weren't student athletes. They were non-student athletes. But I worked in a counseling center, and so it was a big jump. It was a big difference between UNC Wilmington because I worked in volunteer community and campus activities at UNC Wilmington, and that's not a HBCU, but it's a smaller school
Yes,
without
ma'am.
football. So I didn't work with student athletes. I worked with student leaders, student government leaders. I was their advisor there. And then coming here, working with students who have so many other things going on outside of school was a transition for me to understand.
So would you say it was a big of adjustment from going?
Yes, a major adjustment. Yes, because we have 30,000 students here. The schools, our previous institutions were much smaller, a few thousand.
So is this job time consuming?
It is. It
More
is
than-
time consuming. It wouldn't be more time consuming than my job at UNC Wilmington because I worked a lot in campus activities with bringing programs late at night, and so that was fine. And I was younger in my early years, so that was okay. I had lots of energy and no children.
So would you say this is one of the better institutes to work in with your profession?
Yeah, Yes, we are growing in the profession nationally. When I first started working here, we're one of the few who actually had our program, life skills program, in the country. And so then more schools started getting, not everybody, all universities have a life skills program.
Okay. What advice would you give a college student who's looking to do this similar profession?
Working in athletics, there are a lot of young people out there who want to work in athletics, and I always tell them they should volunteer as an undergrad somewhere, find their passion. You can work in tickets, or you can work in marketing, or you can work over here with me, or academics. Just find somewhere, volunteer. Then when you graduate out of graduate school, maybe you can get an internship, because that's very important. Very few people do what I did, just coming off the street, fresh, never did it before. So you really have to get the experience. People want to see that you want to work, and sometimes you have to work for free, to get where you want. I know young folks don't like to do that, but the ones who do that, and you're successful, then you get opportunity.
Yes, ma'am. So who do you report directly to?
The Senior Associate Athletic Director, Raymond Harrison. He's new to the university.
Okay. What do you think of Dr. Yao?
What do I think of her? She's a great leader. She's a visionary with high expectations, and for everyone to be successful, all of our teams to be successful, short and long term.
So since you've been here for 20 years, you've been through a couple of ADs. What would you say separates Dr. Yao from those other ADs?
High expectations for all of our teams. She wants everyone to be successful, from the Olympic sports, non-revenue sports, our revenue sports. She wants all of the teams to be successful, our student athletes to be successful in life after they graduate as well.
Okay. Do you favor one sport over the other?
No.
Which is?
Of course not. I would never favor any sport over another. There are more different sports that participate in my program and more than others, but I don't favor anyone. Justin, no. You better edit that.
From what you observed over the years, are there many African Americans in your profession?
In athletics?
Besides the HBCU level?
No, not really. Not. It just depends. In my particular position, there are a lot of people of color in my student athlete enhancement and leadership type role. But as you move around to different areas in athletics, no, it is not, unfortunately.
Okay. Also, do you think it's harder as a female to get an opportunity in this profession versus a male?
Probably, yes. I would say that's true. And it just depends. Sometimes it depends on what the role is you're trying to go for. If you want to work in fundraising and development, it might be a little more difficult. That's why I say it's important as a young person, doesn't matter male or female, that you get different experiences, not just pigeonhole yourself into one. And so that way, if you're looking for a job, he's like, I worked in fundraising, I worked in marketing, I worked here, look at all my great skills. And so if you have all that, hopefully people will see past your color or your gender in order to give you an opportunity.
Okay, as in wrapping up this interview, what would be that final bit of information that you would give to a person that was a first-year student coming into this program and wanted to eventually get to where you're at?
I would say make sure whoever you're speaking to, you never know who can give you a job. So make sure first impressions are everything. They leave long-lasting impressions, trust me. Because when I'm working with students, I'll remember if they come to me and ask me, can I get an internship? I'll remember that the things that they did correctly, their enthusiasm, their thirst for knowledge. And so make sure you're always asking questions. You surround yourself with positive people, and you make the right connections while you're in undergraduate school. Because once you take that uniform off, unfortunately, you're just over here. But you got to make your connections when you're in uniform. And that's the advice I give our student athletes all the time.
Yes, ma'am.
Make sure you make your connections.
All right, and if somebody, I guess, wanted to volunteer here at Case or somewhere with you in your area, how would they be able to do so?
They can just, they can ask. especially with our marketing, our ticket office, they always have students who want to work there with their PRT, with their major. There's an application process, and you work with game day operations and helping with things of that nature. If that's something you're interested in.
Okay.
There's a lot of opportunities.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, but right now you probably need to concentrate on school.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Thanks, Miss Washington.
No, thank you. Now, who's gonna see this?